Hey everybody, listen, if you're just watching one of my replays, this isn't like a big craft. I'll still do that at 7:30 tonight. But we had talked about staining different colors of this turquoise that we really didn't like how bright the color is. Let's see if I got my comments off. I should not. Hey, I'm not going to see the comments as much. But, y'all, this is still really hot, so I'm going to maybe set it on one of these. But I wanted to show you what I was talking about. I've got my supper out here ready to cook, so let's move that out of the way. But thank y'all for jumping on. Like I said, I'm not going to do a craft right now. I'm just jumping on just to show you what I was talking about last night in our craft about dyeing certain textures. And y'all, of all things, I forgot a pair of scissors. So let me grab them while I give everybody who wants to jump on. But I'm here all about my lonesome, which does not happen often. And so I wanted to dye these things. And we talked about dyeing them with coffee. I mean, my coffee's hot. It doesn't matter. I mean, coffee is like a tea. And y'all, for the very first time, I'm using like the little table stand. But I do have my regular light over here. So if this doesn't bend well, we'll just put it on my regular light and we'll go through it. So let me I've got these like little pans. Y'all, let me play with it just a little bit and see if I can bend it down. I don't think I'm gonna be able to, but I know on my regular halo light, I can. So let me go over here and put you on it. And like I said, I was trying to work with this little light, the little bitty stand. I'll show it to you when I get it back over here. When you buy this like little halo light type thing, it comes with like a little table stand that I've never used, and it's really bendy and kind of pliable. I mean, but I really don't know how to tilt it down. I guess I could loosen it right here, but I didn't want it to like totally fall down. So if you can't hear me, I'll try to talk loud. Hold on for just a second. Let me straighten it back out. And I'll try to get it as close as I can. I'll just have to yell. I think that's the only thing, is it's not as strong because you're a little far away from it. All right, I just got these like old pans that obviously we don't clean good when she throws things in them. You just get them from the Dollar Tree, but now you can do bowls. I mean, it's coffee. If you do a regular bowl, it's not like you're doing like a type of dye, the little RIT dye, whatever that you buy, so it's not going to stain even a really good bowl. But what I'm going to do is just pour coffee in each one. And like I said, I just made this. The coffee's hot. It doesn't have to be hot. It can be cold coffee, like in the morning, whatever you have left over. Just one morning, if you want to dye something, you're a coffee drinker and you don't make a whole pot, just go ahead and make a whole pot. And that way, you can just use what's left over. A lot of times people take the old coffee grinds and just put them in the water after you're done. It'll do the same thing because, you know, just like a tea, it's staining the water and the water will absorb in your fabric, so it will stain your fabric. And we talked about this last night. Now, I use just regular coffee. I have not put any water in it afterwards, but say if you're using like a piece of white burlap or something that you only want to dye a little bit. You don't want it to be quite so stained, because this will stain. Like, you think you drop coffee on your shirt, when you put this material on it, it's going to really stain anything, you know, because it's going to saturate it and pick up all the color. So if you don't want something as bright, just add some water to it. Or you can put water in the pan and just add a little bit of coffee. Like I said, it doesn't matter. And I'm gonna pretty much fill this one up because today when I was at Walmart, I went back there because I'll show you during our live craft tonight, I got another one of those squares that we made last night because I loved it so much. So I had to go get some more red and white polka dot fabric for $1. These little squares that are 18 by 21, they're just like 94 cents. And I saw this pretty color. It's not quite as turquoise as we need it to be, but I just said, hey, we tried. Now this, on the other hand, is a lot closer to the turquoise that we want, but yet we don't want it this bright. Now this was like, I think they're like $4.44, something like that, but you get an entire yard of the fabric. And also, just to see how it would do, I thought this was beautiful. It's the same color, it was kind of in the same line, but yet it had a lot of white in it. This is what I'm gonna water down really heavy because like all of this white is really gonna pick up this stain. But if you're concerned about how stained you want something, just like anything else, cut a little piece off of it, you know, like a corner, find the corner. Because this really doesn't have a lot of white in it. I don't want the coffee, the white to override the turquoise part. So on this, I'm gonna do a little sample. Let me do on the corner because I really want to use this. I thought this was so beautiful. Y'all, would this not make the prettiest plates? I thought it was so pretty. Just the way it is, you know, not dyed, just the color is really pretty. And this pattern is kind of like that gingham. It's really forgiving, so, you know, you don't have to be perfect on your plates as far as like how you put it on the plate. I learned with the trucks at Christmas time, you know, getting it centered, the truck, and make sure it's not, you know, all out of whack. So what I did is, this is the one that I really watered down. And I'm just gonna drop it in. And just come over and test it because I'll show you this. Hold on. By the time we finish, it will have already picked up some of the stain. All right, this is the main thing I'm doing. It's because my dilemma is now, when I moved all of my placemat that we did last night, we painted it, the brown burlap, we put the guave color in it. It looked wonderful, but now when I set it on my table was like almost the color of the burlap. It's like a really dark, you know, walnut color, so it doesn't stand out as much. And I feel like I need to put something around the edge of it. Like, so I'm thinking about putting a ruffle around the edge to break up the table color from the burlap color. So that's why I'm going to dye this first. And let me show you, which is wet, but you can already see how the water, see how the water is, I mean the blue, the white is already picking up the color. Now it's still wet and you can rinse it, but you know, it's in that fabric. I mean, unless you washed it, and you're really not gonna get, you are staining this fabric. So if you only have like one piece of fabric, you need to sit here and watch it. You can even let it dry. And if it dries and it needs a little bit more, just set it back down. I mean, you don't have to throw this away. Put it in a cup, especially if it's a little bitty piece that you're trying to time and see exactly what you want. But I would suggest something flat like this, because, you know, if you put it in a small bowl or a really large bowl, you can use that. It just, you know, when you wad your fabric up and stuff it in there, there could be some fabric that doesn't get as much stain as the other one. Now, if you want that kind of marbled look, I say go for it. You know, wad it up, put it in there. But, you know, my fabric is pretty much gonna be really flat. And like I said, of course, you can definitely tell here on the white. I don't want to touch it with my hands, but you can already see just from sitting here touching it, because this was a lot of white in this particular fabric. That's why when I watered it down. But you can already tell, let me put this here, how it's already stained, you know, almost like a, not a cheesecloth, but a, what do you call that stuff? Almost like a canvas. It's already kind of at the canvas stage. So I'm just gonna leave it in there for a little bit longer and we'll just see. But this being burlap, burlap is cloth, it's a twine, it's a material, it will pick it up, but I feel like it's gonna be a little bit tougher to pick it up. So here, let's just do this little swatch here. And this is the main thing that I'm, 607, that I wanna see how it does. And it's warm, maybe being warm will make it absorb a little bit more, but I don't think a lot because these are these tin trays. It's really on my granite, it's already cooling down. So I would just say, don't depend on the heat. But that is really already picking up some good color. So maybe I won't have to do it as long as I think I do. All right, and one more. I told you I really liked this polka dot. I think this polka dot is really cute, the smaller. But I'm thinking if I put both of them in here, that I can tone this one down with the brown to get it closer to the color I want. I really need to tone this down. All right, so let me open this one up too. And I don't want to get any more stain on that until we know what's going on. Hey, Sin from Arizona. Were you on here last night when we were trying to get all the states? Because we got really close last night to getting just about all the states. And this one I would like to see too, because it's got mostly the turquoise in it, kind of like the burlap. And you know, you never know, this could be a lot cuter. I know it would lay flatter if I did a ruffle around the edge of my placemat. This polka dot material would lay down flatter, kind of wouldn't be as too much of, you know, texture. I feel like that burlap is gonna probably give me a little headache. I'll have to glue each little piece, each little ruffle. But the burlap is more of the color and look I'm going for. Let's see how this is doing. And remember, this is the watered down piece. So see, to me, this already looks like an antique piece. Now, I really like this. I'm just trying to rinse it out a little bit so I don't have to drip coffee all over my counter. But look at that, just the short time we've put it in there. It's already getting to the part, don't look at the white because I would cut that off. It is already getting to the color that we really like. You know, the white is not so toned down and this is it's not so bright. Hey, Lynn from Pensacola. Oh my gosh, from South Africa. Oh, right, man, so cool. Okay, so I'm gonna put that back in the coffee. Let's see how this is doing, y'all. This is really doing a whole lot better than even the other. Look at the burlap on the roll. And then, now this is in straight coffee. I did not water it down at all because I thought it would take a little bit longer. So see that color? I think I'm really gonna love this, and I'm probably gonna need this entire roll to go around those thicker things. But y'all, I love that color. Let me get the original piece that we're trying to go for, the color. It looks like I need to do it a little bit more, but see, it's got a little bit more green in it. So we'll just go a little bit deeper on that. And listen, if I need it to be a little bit bluer, I can always, you can take these same pans and take your paint and water your paint down. You can really water it down. You don't need a lot to stain, water a color. Because I'm not gonna wash these, so I'm not really worried about setting them, sealing them, or anything like that. If they get food on them, I'm just gonna have to wipe them off because I'm not, you know, you can't really wash burlap. You know, you have to kind of hand wash it. But I'm really liking that color, and it really toned it down a lot. But this was with the straight coffee in just a short period of time. So let's see how this piece is doing. It looks a little different, but not a ton. It's different than what it was. And this is in straight coffee. But see how the white of the polka dots is already toned down and it's not as bright? That's what I really didn't want, is really any white in it. So let's see. Let me rinse it off a little bit. And this is in the straight coffee too. All right, so I can't drip it on the other material, and I'll show you how this is already changed. So already, this is the one I like, but it's just a little too bright. So already, now it is wet, so mind you that it's wet, it's gonna look deeper, but I think it's good to go straight in coffee. You don't need to, you know, with this much, you know, color and not white, I wouldn't dilute the coffee down any. Now with this white, I really did, because like I said, it's gonna stain the white faster than the blue. But I'm just gonna leave them in there, let them dry. And I'll probably just put this coffee maybe like in a pot, or just keep like some of it in a cup. And then if it looks like it needs a little bit more, we'll do a little bit more. All right, and there's one more thing I wanted to show you. We're always talking about stuff we want to eat, and the other day I was talking about this really good recipe, and we were talking about how much we all love tomatoes, so I thought I'd make it really quick while I was on here. That's why I put on there, can Cyn cook? Because Chris and I are here by ourselves tonight. He's not home yet, he's at his grandmother's. And he doesn't eat this, so I can make it the way I want to. Okay. I had some left over in another pack, so I just put them in here, but they're little tiny grape tomatoes. I really like the smaller ones. The ones that I bought in the next pack, they're a little bit bigger, but I tasted them and they don't really taste any different. You know, I'm always the one that wants to pull it open in the store and taste them, because I mean, every now and again they can be a little bitter. But I got these at Sam's and the little bit bigger ones at Costco. But they really tasted the same, so I'm gonna do it. I've already kind of rinsed it out. Even though I know they come in these seals packs, they're rinsed. Most of the time I love these little things because they come with holes in the bottom, so you can actually rinse them and clean them in the pack. But I just normally get a bowl, and I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator. Now, I love the way tomatoes taste, but if you're not, hey Chip Man, if you're not a huge tomato fan, once you let all of this like marinate together and the flavors go into each other, the tomato flavor isn't quite as strong. But I mean, I usually can make this and eat it immediately, but most people can't. But what you're gonna do is get feta cheese. Now, I like to buy it already crumbled because it's really hard for us to get fresh that you can crumble yourself. We have to go to Augusta, and I rarely go to Augusta. Hey, Cynthia, from Pennsylvania. I know where you're from. And I like to grab these tongs. I have had these tongs forever. I want to say, I think 20-something years, somebody gave them to me as a wedding present. I mean, you can see over the years where I have like washed them, probably put them in the dishwasher. I love them. And it just makes this really easy where like with a spoon, and you know, if you hit it too hard, it can fly. So I always, if you can find a pair of these, get them. They're wonderful. They're easy to stir fry things. It doesn't go flying all over your stove. So if you ever see these, grab them. Hey, Mahala, I have not seen you in a while. You feeling okay? But this is up to you. I'm just going to put probably, I would say maybe 2-3 cups in here. I'm sure there is like probably a recipe out there for it that'll tell you exactly how many to get. But when you make it enough, you know if you like more tomatoes in it. That one's looking a little rough. More tomatoes or more cheese, more olive oil. And for those of you out there that may be thinking, I'm not a huge olive oil fan, just the way it tastes. Some people think that it is the gift from the heavens. It tastes really, but by itself, I'm not a huge olive oil fan. But for whatever reason, when it soaks into this feta cheese and then you have your tomatoes, it is delicious. So if you think, you know, you probably can use avocado oil. I really love to cook with avocado oil. I really rarely cook with olive oil anymore, just because I actually really like the way it tastes. But I put my tomatoes in there. And Buffy and I, when we go to Sam's, y'all, we buy like 3 or 4 of these at the time because she makes these salad bowls that we love them, and I really love this. Now, I try to get, you know, when you do this, like some of the bigger pieces can settle on the bottom. For whatever reason, you want as many big pieces. So if you can get fresh feta cheese that you can crumble, I think it's better. So I kind of like shake it and get all the bigger pieces to the top. I'm still not 100%, but I am better. I'm so glad to hear that. I don't think I've seen your name lately unless it's come up so fast I didn't see it coming through. Hey, Charlotte from Texas. Charlotte, I am in Georgia, probably about halfway down the state. And y'all, I'm putting probably about a cup in here. It may not call for that, but like I said, for some reason, I love the feta cheese when the olive oil soaks into it. Oh my gosh, y'all, and I dropped the lid into the coffee for the cheese. But tonight, we're not gonna be able to do my little box for my table that I wanted to do. Chris spent some extra time with his grandmother today because he didn't see her yesterday. And he was the one that needed to help me cut the box because I could not find it. Hey, Doris from Buffy Man. Does that say Buffy Man is watching me? Buffy, are you watching me or Mom? I'm sitting here making something and you're not. Okay, so this, like I said, olive oil. I have broken down and used avocado oil on this. It's not bad. It's still really good. So if you're just one of those people that I absolutely hate olive oil, don't use it. But like I'm saying, I'm not a huge fan of olive oil, but when it soaks into this feta cheese and then the tomatoes, and I'm putting a lot because like I said, I like a lot. It probably doesn't call for that much, but I like it. All right, where's the lid? There's the lid. All right, and this is another thing. Tomatoes soak up a lot of salt. So I'm a salt fan. So I usually always double up salt on this, like especially on my tomato sandwiches, because for some reason, tomatoes just soak up salt. But pepper, I use the same amount of pepper. All right, so let's see. Now, Chris and Buffy are some huge pepper fans, but I'm not a huge pepper fan, like black pepper. All right, like I said, see how I'm just able to do this? And because I have taken a spoon before, and the next thing you know, cheese and stuff goes flying across the table. I'm just telling you these for some, can't even tell you the last time I used them for regular salad. But like I said, I've got this olive oil. It's just all, this cheese is like it's turned yellow for how much I put in it. But it's unbelievable. Like right now, I could probably eat just about this entire bowl just the way it is, because you're gonna get each individual flavor. You're gonna get the olive oil with the cheese, which is really good, and the tomatoes haven't soaked up any of the other flavors, so you're gonna get a good tomato flavor, which I do like. But if you're not a huge tomato fan by itself, let it sit in the refrigerator overnight or for a couple of hours, and you'll actually love it all together. Make sure you get a bite of cheese and tomatoes all at once, and you will love it. But let's see how I'm just gonna throw this in the refrigerator. The best thing about this lid is you can like shake it up if you need to and get ready to serve it. But there are certain things in my house that I usually beg my kids or Chris to eat, and then there's certain things that I'm like, if you don't like it, that's fine, don't eat it. I don't have to share. I do this, but add thin slices of purple onion. Hey, and I have a purple onion, so hold on. Let me get it back out. Buffy loves purple onion. So I actually have some purple onion, and I'm gonna do that. Now, when you say thinly sliced, do you mean like really cubed up, or do you actually have slices in it? Because, you know, I'm always trying something new. So you say thin slices. Let's see. Buffy has some of her onion already cut, but it looks like it's kind of in chunks, and I don't want that part. That's not really fresh anymore. I don't know when you did that, Buffy, but okay. So when you say thinly sliced, you're saying like little thin, like what do you call that? Almost like that's my red onion. I know, Buffy, but I'm using slices. All right, and pretty thin. So let me see if I have got a good cutting knife. Let's see. Now for something probably about 2.5 cups of tomatoes, how much red onion would you say put in there, Kim? Just a few, because you know I love onion. I love onion raw, cooked, anything. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna slice it really thin since it's raw. So my breath will stink, but it'll be delicious. I have to get the, somebody gave me once. I don't know what it's about us Southerners. We love tomatoes and cucumbers. And the cucumbers and tomatoes and onions, but like regular, like yellow or sweet onions. So you're meaning like thinly sliced like this? Or should I cut it up a little bit smaller? To your liking. Okay, put that in my compost bag, please. Buffy, you can't tell me what to do when I'm off from parenting tonight. You're not here, so you can't tell me. Okay, I'm gonna cut them up a little bit smaller. And then purple onions have a good flavor too, so I'm gonna put like a good little chunk in here. I'm all about trying new stuff. And Buffy, I will put your red onion back in. Y'all see what I'm dealing with. She's at her boyfriend's house hanging out with him and his family, and she's still there telling me what to do. I like feta, tomato, and a slice of onions on the fork. All right, so you're saying you put, ooh, hold on. Let's put a little bit more in there then. I don't want that center, but, ooh, we got a little bit of onion over here in our coffee. All right, so let me get my, I'm telling y'all, these like, that's probably the one thing that Buffy listened to me. We like what's called egg roll in a bowl, where you make with cabbage, you saute cabbage and stuff. And those, like, it makes it so easy when you're making it, kind of like when you go to a Japanese restaurant, it keeps it all in order for you. So your rice or your cabbage, it doesn't spew everywhere. All right, so, and y'all, I got these little bowls at Walmart, and it's in that, not Paula, what's the Pioneer Woman thing? They came with about 4 bowls, and they all have lids. I have missed a good bowl with a good lid. You know, that's not some cheap disposable bowls. And we use those bowls constantly. All right, so let's see about what we're doing on our dye. Where did you get those? I got them at Walmart. They're like the, you know, the Pioneer Woman. You know, it's like the, now my husband is texting me saying turn the grill on. I'm like, I'm home by myself. I don't want to. I got the house all to myself like a big girl. All right. All right, so let's see how our material's doing. The watered down, I don't think we're gonna have to do it very long. I think it's got so much white in it that, see, look at that. I mean, even when I rinse it, it's not, that it's in there. And it's toned the, I don't think it's toned this down enough. So I'm gonna leave it in there, but I don't wanna take it out and it, which I don't know, the brown in that's the color I like. So I'm gonna leave that in there. I'm gonna leave that in there for a few hours. Now this is getting to be really the color I want. I really, really like this. All right, so if you look at the old, I'm really, really liking this. And I almost wish I could glue it while it's wet because I think it would be a lot, but I like that. I like, this is doing exactly what I want it to do. All right, so let's check out the polka dots and I will let you go and then I'll be back on, what time is it now? In an hour, and we'll do our craft. All right, so let's see. I like this, it's toned down a lot. But I don't know, see, sometimes this material can be a little tricky because it's wet. And so it may be something I'm gonna let it soak for a good long while. And then I will let it dry and see, because it could just be fooling me that it's a lot darker because it's wet. So let's see. Because I'm really liking it right now, but like I said, I don't know if, I really think the white, it just does great on the white colors. But we're just gonna have to see, y'all. Maybe in a little while, right before we start, I can't really do the burlap because it'll just fall apart, but these other two little pieces, I'll take them out and throw them in the dryer while we're doing our craft. But thank y'all for watching. And I really wish we'd have, maybe tomorrow we'll do the, beforehand we'll do the banana sandwiches, because I'm still leery about trying it, but I'm going to trust y'all because, you know, you never know. Ordered me a styrofoam cutter from Amazon and got it yesterday. All right, Pam. Now remember, when you get things in, if you're like somebody who orders a lot from Amazon or orders a lot from any place, save the styrofoam that they ship things in, because you never know if you just need to make something really small, and you can make it out of, my daughter had some food sent, you know how they send it to you in those really good coolers. We had out in our woods, we had this kitten, not kitten, but kind of in between a cat and a kitten, but it's feral and it wouldn't let you come anywhere near it. Normally I hate that, but I think she's a female because she didn't really messing with our cat. So we cut a hole out of the little cooler and put some old material that I had in it and set it out in the woods for it. So, you know, save all your styrofoam because you can do so much with it. I have to watch her craft replay tomorrow because it's 1:30 a.m. here in South Africa. Oh my gosh, 1:30 a.m. Yes, but please watch the replay tomorrow. We'll have something really, really cool tonight because I think I'm actually going to do an Easter thing. But just so you can go ahead and buy the supplies now before, you know, when it gets kind of close to Easter, you can't find the supplies. But I'll see y'all at 7:30 tonight, and I'll let you know how all this dye stuff went. Thanks.